welcome the athletes to the field of play for the Recurve Men Team Gold Medal Match.
南七公男子团体金牌决赛，欢迎运动员入场。
Time to go for gold for the second time here on Recurve Sunday in Shanghai at the second stage of the Hyundai Archery World Cup. Time to welcome out the two men's recurve teams going for gold here in Shanghai.
On target number 1, representing the Republic of Korea,
1号靶位韩国队，
Kim Jae-duk. Lee Woo-suk. Kim Woo-jin. On target number 2, representing China,
李宗元，吉祥硕，黄大鹏。
The line judge for this matchup is
起射线裁判
Hossein Nazir-Inajah.
So there we have it, Korea lining up with Kim Jae-duk, Kim Woo-jin and Lee Woo-suk. China, who got a massive cheer here, have Lee Zhongwan, Ki Jiangshou and Wang Da-ping in their lineup.
The best in the world, currently ranked world number 1, the Republic of Korea.
You can see the pep talk. Looks like the Koreans did theirs early, but the Chinese coach almost showing a little bit of stay calm here. We're on home soil. You've got a big amount of support behind you here, but focus 70 meters down the range on that target, please.
Yeah, and I think that's good advice. You don't want to get overly excited for being in your home country, but you can enjoy it, but you shouldn't stray from your task.
Well, Korea are going to start this gold medal match, and you have to say China really do need to have a flying start to have a chance here against the Korean team.
9.
So the last time we saw Kim Woo-jin in a finals venue, he pretty much bulldozed the competition at the World Cup final. So it's going to be nice to see the Korean team back on the venue and see what they can muster up today.
Kim Jae-duk following it into the 9s for a 27 start for Korea. You can hear the support in the crowd, but to stay focused like that, Lee putting it straight into the 10.
Yeah, the crowd is loud enough to make the sound levels completely peak, and the microphones completely only generate noise, basically.
So 2 10s to start things off. 2-time Olympian Wang putting it into the 9, but that is just what China needed to put themselves in this match and put Korea under a bit of pressure.
Yeah, because Korea didn't have a bad group to start with, but they all started a bit on the left and they dropped 3 points. So I think this is the opportunity that China needs to take before Korea ramps it up. Some good communication there from Kim Woo-jin to Lee Woo-suk.
10.
10。
So that is the level that we were expecting from Korea, and also the reason that China needed to get out of the gates fast and with a high score, because they will need to, match this score to get this set.
Oh, that's all about how you handle the pressure of the opportunity. And all of a sudden, you have to fancy the Koreans for this one. 2 10s to share the points required from China.
8.
That's just how quick it can go, how quick the momentum can change from being 2 points ahead to not having a chance at the set anymore. And I think it's mostly Korea's doing by putting a bunch of pressure on the Chinese team with their perfect second rotation.
Well, there it is, a 57-54 initial set. The Republic of Korea shooting 999, then 1010 to take the lead here. 2 set points to none in the 19th.
So interesting thing to note, I think at least, is that there's obviously 4 Koreans here in Shanghai. One of them is missing from the team since there's only 3 positions, and that one is Oh Jin-hyuk, but he was actually not the lowest ranked, so he outranked Kim Woo-jin, but they decided to put Kim Woo-jin in the team anyway, so I guess they're betting on him dragging this team to the gold medal.
When you just to put that in context, you say not the highest ranked. All the archers right at the beginning of the competition shoot 72 arrows, and usually that's how a team would pick their 3 for the team competition.
Yeah, that is the most straightforward way to do it, unless you have good reasons to pick another team.
It would be a strange Korean men's recurve team without Kim Woo-jin, though, wouldn't it?
Yeah, maybe that's why they why they went for Kim Woo-jin instead.
Well, the Koreans got their sights in with 3 9s at the start of the first set. Chinese Taipei outscored them through the first rotation, but the Koreans piled on the pressure with 3 10s to take set number 1. China here having to start all over again.
9.
Chef, the fear really here for China is that Korea aren't going to miss the middle of the target now.
Well, I wouldn't say that much, but they're not going to stray far off it, I think, because the circumstances look pretty good. It doesn't look like it's very windy. It doesn't look like it's extremely bright out. So I think this is pretty much perfect shooting circumstance.
Well, another factor here is that it's dry, and it certainly hasn't been throughout the week.
No, and I think that's also what threw a wrench in the Korean qualification as well, because typically speaking, you'll see all of the Koreans somewhere in the top of the pile. Now the highest ranked Korean archer is, I think, Lee Woo-suk with 3rd place after Brady and Marcus D'Almeida. And I think Kim Woo-jin was somewhere 18th or something. He dropped way below the rest, or way below what we are used to seeing from him. But obviously they still see him as pretty much the anchor or the most experienced guy to lead this team to the gold medal, because they put him in anyways.
10.
Just outside, or was that on the line? It's marked as a 9.
Yeah, and I think I have to agree with that.
These are not bad shots, but you can really feel the pressure on this Chinese team.
Yeah, you can see it in their facial expressions as well. They, I think they're carrying a lot of pressure on their shoulders, shooting here in front of their home crowd against, you know, the best archery nation in the world, pretty much.
Well, they've got plenty of room for error here. If all things go according to what we're used to with the Koreans, they're going to be 4-0 up in 2 hours' time.
9.
9
8.
8
Well, that was a stray one, but as I said, they had room for manoeuvre there, and it is enough to take them into a 4-0 lead, but a little bit of an unusual shot there to finish things off.
Yeah, he did try to throw it to the right a little bit because he knew that it was going to go to the left, but yeah, not what we would expect in these circumstances from this Korean team.
Does the pressure come off China now a little bit? That you know, no one's really going to expect them to win from 4-0 down against the Koreans. So can they relax a little bit and perhaps get back into their normal standard?
Yeah, the thing is, they shouldn't relax too much because you want to have that, you know, sharpness still. But I think maybe the pressure of doing really well in front of your home country is alleviated a bit.
Certainly looks like it's played its part here, and that's partly why, because it's a packed out crowd here on Recurve Sunday. On the Louis Jazui Riverside Promenade, it's a popular location on the best of days, but when there's an international archery tournament, well, it's going to get very busy. So China 4-0 down against a very strong Korean team. Will start set number 3, and they have to win this one.
Really good arrow to start that end off, or set rather. So typically I'd say if you shoot first, you can really put some pressure on the other team with a really high score. But we've seen situations like this where a team shoots a really high score against Korea, and Korea typically seems to be unfazed. They just think, okay, yeah, we can do that too. So putting a lot of pressure on the Korean team is not an easy task.
They may have just heard what Chef said then. Just completely unfazed by the 29. Shot by China.
And I'm not keeping scores today, but I think after that first 9 on the left by Kim Woo-jin, he's just only shot 10s. Another one of those left 8s, and he seems a bit surprised by it, but he also just moved his sight, so he might just think it must be the sight setting, it cannot be me.
Well, it does mean that China have got this in their own hands. Two more 10s, and they've definitely got the points here and got themselves back in the match. There's one of them.
He seems happy with it.
Now, pressure on here. No 10 so far for Wang.
9.
Drifted out to the 9. Now, this gives them a big chance, but Korea can take the match. They need 3 10s, though. There's no room for error here. Kim Woo-jin first up.
9.
Well, that means China are back in the match here.
Yeah, they are indeed. And I think, like I said before, it doesn't seem like they're really feeling pressure. They just didn't shoot enough points this end.
9.
And it's a bit of a different vibe, a different feel about it. And sometimes you'll see a team buckle under pressure, but here I feel like it's more just, oh, we didn't hit the middle this time.
10.
Well,
there
they
it is,
matched the
People's
score
Republic
that
of
took the
China
points in the
winning
second set in
number
the third,
3.
but
Moving
not
into
enough
a
this
swing
time
situation
for
here. Can the Chinese
Korea
archers
as China
find
get
a way
themselves
to
on the
tie it?
scoreboard. They still
Work their
trail
way
by
to a
4
shootout.
set points to 2, but that will certainly give them the, I don't want to say the confidence, it's more just of a mental boost.
Yeah, and for sure a shot of adrenaline there. You could see the ecstasy
Oh, the
when they
People's
came
Republic
off the
of China
line after
qualifying
shooting
second,
those
shooting
tens.
1971. Defeating Germany in the round of 1-8, 5 set points to 1 before beating Indonesia by way of the shoot-off in the quarterfinals.
Well, they're certainly on a high,
Spain,
China,
6 set points to 2.
after
En route to the gold
that
medal.
third set. They've got themselves on the scoreboard here, and whilst Korea don't look too phased by it, it does mean that we go into a 4th set. Another good start from China required here. Can they draw level? Because remember, Korea, all they have to do is match the score
Number 4, ladies and
of
gentlemen,
China
the People's
to take
Republic
the
of
gold
China,
medal.
Shooting first on target number 2.
最后一局比赛，中国队加油！
You can see the spirits have risen somewhat on the Chinese side of the shooting line. Li Zhonwang will start things off in set number 4.
9.
9
And it's this thing where you get like really nervous or really excited at the beginning of the match, but you cannot keep that same level of excitement going for the whole match. So eventually it will die down a little, and then you'll be able to relax a bit more and shoot better, typically speaking. Or what also sometimes happens is that you have so much adrenaline in the beginning that you're just tired throughout the match. It not necessarily physically, but just you feel a bit numb, and you kind of want to avoid that.
9.
But I think it's difficult for them in this circumstance to get numb to what's going on.
I think you may well be right. A good grouping from China there, but just a little off to the left.
Yeah, we've seen a couple arrows drift off to the left, not only by China but also by Korea. So there might be a little bit of a drift that we have difficulty catching.
That's a little bit of wind. It looked like it was certainly blowing straight at the archers right at the start of the session. Maybe it's just starting to cross over the range a little bit. No problems there for Lee Woo-seok.
Kim Jae-juk just fumbling with his finger tap there for a bit. I think his leather was folded and he was struggling to get his hand on the string, but they have a lot of time left. They have 67 seconds left on the clock because they just have a good rhythm and a fast shot.
9. 9.
You can see the frustration there of first shooting a left 9 with the whole team trying to adjust and then going over to the right.
Waited till his last arrow, potentially for a 10 and a 55. But as you can see, plenty of room for Korea here. 59, a possible target for the Koreans.
Yeah, 2 9s and an 8 would be enough already. Or a 10 and 2 8s, or 2 10s and a 6. You could pick your poison there.
So a 7 required for the win. Kim Jae-deok with that responsibility in his hands. Puts it into the 9, more than enough for a strong Korean team. They followed their female counterparts in the women's team recurve competition to take gold in the men's recurve team competition. And despite China fighting back in set number 3, the Koreans were just too strong and have taken gold here in Shanghai.